Hi, I'm Zach, the Nonprofit Guy. Welcome back to Beyond Giving, the best nonprofit podcast on the Boost Network, sponsored by Nonprofits HQ and the Boost. This week, we've got a really exciting conversation with Andrew from the Community of Automotive Professionals, which puts on the big CarFest event each year. So Andrew, kind of tell us a little bit about yourself and about what the Community of Automotive Professionals is.
Awesome. Zach, first, thanks for having me on. Super excited. No pressure with that intro or anything. Community of Automotive Professionals is made up of individuals and garages across our area that come together to put on CarFest, which is our festival, our annual festival, which this year happens to be April 4th through the 6th, 2025 at the Freeman Expo Halls. And essentially we come together, put on CarFest, and we're rebuilding lives as we rebuild vehicles for those in need.
Awesome. And so how did you, what is your background? I know you work at a garage as well, right? Like an automotive repair garage. What is your background and how did that kind of lead you into the Community of Automotive Professionals and CarFest?
Great question. Well, first, you don't want me working on your car.
I grew up marketing guy, CMO, right?
That's right. I grew up on a ranch, raising horses and cows, and so I could be a pretty okay shade tree mechanic, but I wouldn't trust me on your everyday vehicle. But no, that background, growing up farming and ranching, I actually worked in agriculture for a big part of my career. Started off working for Texas Beef Council. We did the Beef It's What's for Dinner campaign.
Oh, okay.
Loved it. So Sam Elliott was the big voice for a long time. Beef, it's what's for dinner. Enjoyed it. Worked with 5,000 cattle producers across the state. From there, I got to move on and work for Certified Hereford Beef. We're the branded program for American Hereford Association. Essentially, we went head to head, if you've heard Certified Angus and those type things. Worked with 7,000 cattle producers across the country. Was super blessed to grow that program based out of Kansas City. Got to launch programs all over the world: Guatemala, Panama, Peru, Colombia, Hong Kong, Japan, Mexico. It was an amazing time. Wife and I found out we were going to be blessed with a little boy and wanted to get closer back to family and less travel. Ended up finding a job at Santikos Enterprises and Santikos Entertainment here in San Antonio. So it was an amazing ride. The best happenstance that could happen. Spent 7 years there, finished off my career as a chief marketing officer there. When I moved back to San Antonio, I was actually, it's a good Texas story, as you like to say. Walking out of the rodeo and saw Pam Kolaw. Pam introduced me to Mark. We ended up changing numbers, learned about CarFest, started volunteering. I've been a volunteer for what's soon to be 8 out of our 10 years, because it's our 10-year anniversary coming up. And about 170 days ago, I was blessed to start leading the CarFest team putting on this festival.
Awesome. And you mentioned that I call that such a Texas story because it is, right? You're like, I was leaving the rodeo and now I run one of the biggest automotive events in San Antonio, right? That's so cool, so Texas. And so what is your role at CarFest and what does that look like for you?
So role at CarFest, really director. So we're putting all the pieces in together. CarFest has several different committees. So we have a volunteer and community committee. We have a repair and parts committee. We have our community committee that's putting on all the activities. We have our garage committee. And so there's several different committees, just like anything, where it takes a village to make this thing run. And what I've really been focusing on this year is, 1, attendance, and then number 2, getting the right people in the right places to make this thing grow. As we are in our 10th year and our 10th anniversary coming up for CarFest San Antonio, we have some big ambitions. We want to take this thing nationwide. We want to be able to go to an Atlanta, a Houston, a Las Vegas, and it's going to take the right leadership and the right people, which I'm pretty excited because we're getting that set. And that's to say there's a lot of people that have been with CarFest since the very beginning, that 2016 year, who are still on, and they're teaching us every day, and they're coming along for the ride. So we have such a good mix. We're just excited for our sponsors. We got to give a shout out to our big anchor sponsors. They've been with us forever. Our O'Reillys of the world, our BG Products, Red McCombs. We can't do it without them. They're fantastic.
That's awesome. And so there are like big plans for the future of CarFest then, right?
Huge plans. We typically average 40, 50,000 people a year. This year, we got a little bit of competition with the Final Four, but that didn't change our goal. We're going for 100,000 people.
100,000. Let's get it done.
Let's get it done.
Nice. That's awesome. And so like what can you expect when you attend CarFest? Like as an attendee, what can I expect to do and see while I'm there?
So if you're coming to CarFest, we like to say we have a little bit of everything for everybody. If you're coming to just have some fun and cut loose, escape reality for a little bit, we have something for you. We're going to have over 200 vendors. We're going to have things for the families. We have lots of activities for the kiddos. So bring the family out. We're going to have bounce houses, laser tag, Nerf gun wars, you name it. We're going to have a car show. So you want to show off that special ride you got, enter our car show. We're going to have different activities up on the main stage. But one of the coolest things we do, because we repair those vehicles and donate them back to families in need, but we also repair vehicles and then we just donate them and for free. It's a free raffle. I don't know how a better way to say it. It is a free drawing for a car. And so you can come, and each day we're going to give 5 cars, 5 on Saturday and 5 on Sunday. You can just come register and try to win a car and take it home. We cover tax, title, and license. We cover it all.
So I can just attend this event and win a car. So how much do tickets cost to attend CarFest?
CarFest is totally free. The only thing we don't control, just full transparency, parking. That's controlled by the county, and sometimes it's 10, 15, 20 bucks. But our event is free. You can come. You'll want a little cash. There's food trucks. We have 10 to 12 food trucks. We have a variety between drinks and burgers and Asian and Filipino. And so, if you're a food enthusiast, come on out, have some good food. There's some vendors there. They're selling all kinds of cool stuff. There's samples. Just bring a little cash. But the actual event, you want to come hang out and try to win a car, that's free.
Cool. And so I want to touch back a little bit on the kind of purpose. You had said that you're rebuilding vehicles to help rebuild lives, right? That's such a powerful statement. But what does that actually mean? So you're taking vehicles that are donated and then like I guess just kind of expand on that.
Yeah. No, so it's super crazy. So our mission is unity in the community. And so we work with nonprofits throughout the year, and then we have a nomination process. And what we're looking for is that family that's struggling. They have a job, or they have a job and they're going to school. They have a job, they're going to school, and they're trying to support their kids, or they're trying to help their parents, or they're trying to help aunts and uncles and grandparents. And so what we do is we work with our fellow nonprofits and say, hey, first, identify some families that are in need, that are struggling, and they're trying. Tell us a little bit about that vehicle. Tell us how this vehicle could change their life, help them. And then we look at it and we go through our garage pool and we pair them up. And so they come together. We look at the vehicle, we diagnose it, we submit our parts orders to the O'Reillys, Jasper transmission engines, they're another anchor. And we basically go bumper to bumper and repair that vehicle to make it 100% sound for the road.
Wow.
They have reliable transportation.
So these are cars that are donated from various sources in various different conditions. You guys bring them in, you diagnose them, you repair them for these families that are in need?
So most of the time they already have the vehicle.
Okay.
And so we're repairing their vehicle to get them back on the road. Right. What was a new part this year, which is really cool, is we are taking vehicle donations. We've heard from so many that are in these different nonprofits that they're walking several miles, maybe through a bad part of town. They're walking late at night to a job or back home, or maybe they're in a program where they've aged out of foster care and they're kind of in between and they're trying to get to job interviews. So we are now taking car donations, and we're rebuilding some of those, and we're going to repurpose them throughout the community as well. So that's a super cool aspect. And then the other one, the first time ever this year, we're actually taking nonprofit vehicles and we're repairing those. And that's because we heard from the community. This surprised me. I went to a meeting a couple months ago, and the transportation budget for grants and funds that are divvied out from cities and counties is less than 10%.
Wow, really?
A lot of those have stipulations now that if you get grants, you can't use it for transportation, not to buy a vehicle or vehicle repairs. And so we've run into organizations, a great partner now, Beat AIDS, They had a big red van.
Clifford.
That's Clifford, baby, the big red van Clifford, which we were able to repair and get back on the road. And what that does is, and so we never want to lose that family aspect. We're going to keep taking nominations and keep helping those. But what a vehicle like Clifford does is allow us to go out and touch multiple families.
Right.
And so using, again, Unity in the community, we're helping that organization, which is helping multiple families across our community. And so that's a new aspect to us that we're pretty excited about.
Yeah, that's really cool. And, that's such a need in San Antonio specifically too for these repairs, because vehicle repairs are not cheap, right? A large portion of the population in San Antonio lives at or below the poverty line. And public transit is not robust enough to actually provide those people accessible ways to work. For example, in District 4, like the south side of San Antonio, you might walk 30, 40, 50 minutes to get to the closest bus stop from where you are, and then spend an hour or 2 hours on the bus trying to get to work. So the fact that you're able to take these vehicles that they wouldn't necessarily be able to afford, and that's your focus, that's a really cool mission.
Thank you.
That's a really cool mission. So along the lines of kind of that goal, what is the most exciting part for working on CarFest, or like what you get to do for CarFest? What is that for you?
So for me personally, and I think this goes for the team now, it really is the impact of seeing the change it's making in the lives of the repairs. It's also really exciting. So when they come and register for this vehicle, so when you come to CarFest and sign up, those tickets are going in a big hopper. And that's exciting because all of a sudden there's a name being drawn and you see that excitement. And those people are, they're chest bumping, Dave Elder, and they're doing high fives, and that's super exciting. But we revamped that nomination process this year, and we were really reading the impact statements and how this repair would change those lives. And it was the hardest thing I've ever done first. So reading through all these, we're immediately thinking, how do we find 64 garages? Right. How do we go to O'Reilly and our friends and be like, we need more parts? Like we got it, because every one of them was deserving. And so it was super hard. And so what I'm most excited about this year is seeing those impact statements come to life through the repairs. And I cannot thank our garages enough. There's so many. I'd love to toss them over to you, but our garages, it doesn't happen without them, and I'm most excited to see that come to life.
So how does that happen? And the challenge of selecting the limited number of families you're able to help like that is like that's the challenge that change makers all over have, right? They're like, okay, I want to help everybody. Everybody on this list should help. And so like trying to whittle that down and select, that's a really hard process. And I imagine your selection team, they struggled with that probably, trying to identify those families that get to participate in this repair program.
There wasn't a dry eye. We could not. It was tearful because you couldn't help all of them, and then you're reading some of these impact statements. Is that we literally, I cried. Like that's how much that's how hard it was, and how much we poured our heart into this, and knowing that they poured their heart into it, and we're not going to be able to help everybody. That we flat out cried in that room.
I believe it, yeah. And so you do 25?
We're going to do 20 this year.
20 vehicles, so you're making that impact in 20 families, and you get to see that kind of impact statement come to life, right? How does that work with the garages, right? So a car comes to you, are there certain types of repairs that you do and certain things that you kind of don't touch, or what does that process from end to end look like?
Yeah, great question. So we partner with the garages. This year we're hosting our first ever pairing party.
Okay.
So in the past, real quick, the process was, okay, you got selected. We need you to get your car over to the garage. The garage is going to look at it. Then the garage is going to work on any big stuff, and then they'll take it to CarFest and kind of finish off the repairs.
So you'll actually get to see some work being done on these cars at CarFest.
It's action-packed, like 2 days.
Very cool.
Every Saturday and Sunday, the cars will move in Friday. There's a little bit of work, but there's a lot of prep. And then Saturday and Sunday, man, it's 24 hours, and they're just turning wrenches. It's fun. This year we changed it up. So we're getting the cars a little earlier to the garages the week of March 14th. And that's because we've asked the nonprofits to come along with those nominees this time. And we said, hey, this is tough. They're going to be without a vehicle for 3 to 4 weeks. We already know they're struggling, so help us help them. But we guarantee when they get this car back, it's going to be reliable. Most of these cars are having $10,000, $20,000, $25,000 worth of work done.
Wow. And is that all donated parts and labor?
It's all donated parts and labor. These garages they're not paying their people for it. They are donating their time, talents, and treasures. Those parts from our partners like Jasper and BG and O'Reilly's and Red McCombs, they're donating. And so this year what we did is, hey, we're going to get those cars in. We're going to run through a diagnostic on them, and then the families and nonprofits are going to come and sit with that garage and look at the repair plan. Say, hey, this is what you told us was going on. This is what we actually found. And so these are the parts orders we're putting into our partners, and this is, if this, you were going to have to pay for this, this is what it would be. And then we've asked them to come back to CarFest and hang out with the garage, just give them some high fives, cheer them on a little bit. If you want to do some social media, we'd love that. Tag that garage. And then this year, everybody's heard of the ceremonial ribbon cutting. We're going to have a key ceremony.
Cool.
So right after CarFest, we're gonna take a couple of days. We know everybody's going to want their car back, but we're going to come back to the garage. We'll have a key ceremony. Again, we'll do some high fives.
That's so cool. So they get the key to their repaired car that happened through CarFest, and they'll be able to drive away from there with this perfectly working car to help them. That's amazing. That's such a cool thing. And so these pairing parties. So what does that look like, and what kind of happens there?
So this will be our first one ever. Okay. We're pretty excited for it. It's the first time the garages are going to meet the nonprofits and the families they're benefiting. Oh, cool. And that's to build that camaraderie. Like, hey, we're going to take care of, you're going to bring your car to us, and we're going to take care of it like it's our own. And for that family just to be able to see the garage cares, and for the garage to see the family they're benefiting and the nonprofit they're benefiting. And we're going to have some fun trivia. So we're going to have some things laid out around the table as the people come in. They're going to start trying to pair up who they think is going to work with who. We're going to have a fun kind of guess who game where we'll call them up, and then we're going to take some pictures and hang out. And yeah, then we're going to just have some camaraderie. It is going to be at Andretti's this year. Shout out to our friends at Andretti's for hooking us up, because at the end we're going to have a little competition and a go-kart race. Nice. That'll be pretty fun, yeah.
Cool. So there's a lot of things that kind of happen not just at the event, that kind of happen around the event to support the things that are actually happening, these vehicle repairs and all these different things. How do you pay for all of this? How do you fund CarFest and the things that kind of happen around that?
Great question. So it's all been through private donors, and we're always looking for more. So between sponsorships, private donors, we're like any other nonprofit. We're looking for help. Like I said, we have some great anchors with Jasper and BG and O'Reilly's and Red McCombs. We have some new sponsors this year we're pretty excited about. We haven't even touched on Career Fest and how we help those seniors at tech schools try to get jobs. We're implementing a high school portion this year, working with our friend Dr. Goodlow. There's a lot of cool stuff that's happening. We're going to have a Friday Night Fights.
Friday Night Fights. What is that?
Dude, we're going to have an MMA fight Friday night of CarFest.
You're going to have an MMA fight at CarFest on Friday night.
At CarFest Friday night, outside, Friday Night Lights. So bring it. We're going to have hot rods. Friday Night Lights is always big. It brings its own crowd. We're like, man, we need something inside. The sponsors and vendors Friday night, everybody's hanging outside. Food trucks are hopping in. There's music. And so we're like, well, we found a connection. I have an octagon. Like, I know some guys. Let's have an MMA fight.
Let's have an MMA fight.
So we're gonna have 3 to 4 matches, 7 to 9 o'clock Friday night. We're gonna have an MMA fight.
That's awesome. And is that an add-on, or is that included in admission to the event?
Included admission. It's free. And again, it's thanks to our private donors. We're always looking for more. What also helps, you mentioned it earlier, is that car donation program. So when those car donations come in, what we ask through our form, and you can find our form at carfestsa.org. Is, hey, do you want that car to go to something, or do you have something in mind? Sometimes we'll evaluate the car, and if it's too much to try to fix it, what we can do is sell that car, and then those funds go in to help and run our mission. Okay. If it's not too much, and it's a good candidate, then we can repair that car and then save it as a giveaway or donate it to a family.
That's awesome. Yeah, so you're finding creative ways to kind of fund all of this impact that you folks are working on. So you mentioned briefly Career Fest. What is that? Who participates in it? What's it for?
So Career Fest happens over in Expo Hall 2, and that is for, that's to help our community of automotive professionals. So there is a lot of young people that come, young and old. You know, some people go into programs like SCI and STVT, and they're looking for a career change. And so what they're doing is they're getting ready to graduate, and so they're looking for a job in their new field in automotive. And so we're pairing them to go do interviews with O'Reilly's of the world, Advance, the independent garages that are participating all get to interview people. And who we have, I can't even, Cambridge Auto is a great partner. In the past 2 years, they've hired 5 mechanics each.
That's crazy, just from Career Fest.
Just from Career Fest. So 10 in 2 years they've hired. We have other great technical schools too. TSTC comes down and helps, UTI, St. Philip's, Alamo Colleges. There is something really cool this year that STVT is doing. That people need to check this out. This is called Wrench Wars.
Wrench Wars. That sounds exciting.
It is exciting. STVT is taking their leadership and their kids, but they're challenging the garages. So the garages are going to submit kind of their best person, and we're going to have kind of a pit crew wars.
Okay.
Yeah, you got to get the tire off. You got to go get it balanced, get it back on. Timing. Think of March Madness style. I mean, we are going head to head with Final Four, Giga Maggies. And then, we'll time it, and then we're going to have a really good prize for the winner.
That's really cool. And so will attendees be able to kind of see these different mechanics competing, and they'll happen in these garages or the bays there at the event? Or
Exactly. So they're going to get to see it. We're going to do a call out for the finals, like, hey, this is kind of the final 2 competitions, winner takes all. They'll get to watch it. They'll get to see it. We're going to be streaming some of it online for the people that can't make it. But we're really excited. This will be the first year for Wrench Wars.
Wow, that's so cool. And so you have all of these things. You have Career Fest, you have your MMA Fights, you've got all these vendors, you've got the bays where the repairs are happening on these cars for these families. So many areas of impact. How do you put it all together? How do you coordinate all the chaos to make this a successful event?
Again, it's a team. My partner in crime, Celine Trevino, she is freaking awesome. I can't give enough shout outs and goodwill to all of our volunteers. It really is a team. And when I say team, it goes to the garages as well. The garages, the nonprofits, the people leading our nonprofits, the people leading our volunteers. It takes volunteers to get volunteers. Absolutely. And that has been so huge, getting the right people in the right places this year. I want to give them all a shout out, but I'm afraid I'll miss some. I just want our volunteers to know that I love them, and we couldn't do this without them. We couldn't do it without our garages. It starts there in those bays. If there's not a garage willing to step up saying, hey, I'll do that repair, then this event doesn't happen.
Absolutely, yeah. And so, along those lines, involvement from the community, whether it's new garages or new shops or new volunteers, how important is the support from the community for CarFest, and what do you guys need? What does CarFest still need from the community to make it happen?
So the biggest thing we can ask the community is we need your feet and your eyeballs. So come out to the event. So 50,000 people is amazing. If we can get 75 to 100,000 people to come out over 3 days, then that makes our vendors feel good. That makes our sponsors feel good. That makes us feel good. That makes our garages feel good. We've revamped it. If you've been to CarFest, which we have a lot of people that come year after year, you're going to see a different look. We've reshuffled the garages to allow them to get more flow and people through. We've reshuffled the stages to allow more activity. And so just bring your eyeballs, bring your feet, get ready to have a good time. That's the biggest way you can support us. That's
awesome. So come out here, enjoy this free event, possibly win a car, and just by doing that, you're really kind of elevating and supporting the event. That's amazing.
We have 200 plus vendors.
200 vendors.
So if you come out and hang out, visit with the vendors, visit with our garages, the people helping put this on, that's the biggest support they can do right now.
That's awesome. And so beyond just attending, what are some of the big needs that you have for CarFest?
Still some of the big needs, we're still looking for volunteers.
Volunteers?
So you can go to carfestsa.org, you can go to our volunteer button, fill out that, it's a application, it's a short form that allows us to contact you and then ask where you would like to help. We We have tons of areas where people can help. Of course, donations are still huge. So you can go to carfestsa.org, you can hit that donate button. We pay for a lot of systems, lighting, electricity, the rental. We do compensate the fighters and stuff like that. So there's still a lot of expenses that go into CarFest, even though we have amazing sponsors. And I didn't even mention our new sponsor for MMA is Beluga Air.
Cool.
So it's the Beluga Air Brawls.
Nice.
We have a new driver program. So if you're 15 to 17 years old, we need more people to sign up for this.
Wait, what is this new driver program? This is another area of impact from this event.
It's another area of impact. So if you're 15 to 17, come hang out, take a 2-hour course. We partner with SAPD and put on this safety course, and it is $25 just to cover some of the miscellaneous costs we have in brochures and stuff like that. But then you're entered to win a free car, and again, we cover tax, title, and license. We're doing 100 on Saturday and 100 on Sunday, so you have a 1 in 100 chance to win a car. So yeah, we're still in need. We'll take cars, we take cash. Help us change the world.
Cars, cash, people, change the world. That's it.
Cars, cash, people. I like that.
That works. Awesome. And then, so moving forward, like the future of CarFest, I know you mentioned like moving it to other cities and things like that. What are the biggest things in the future of CarFest, and what are you most excited about in that future?
I'm really excited about that the word has already gotten out. We've had a couple of cities actually reach out to us and say, hey, how do we do CarFest here? So working with our volunteer team now, we've actually picked your brain. How do we mold this playbook, and how do we create this playbook through our different committees where we can say, hey, here's what you need, here's how you get the people, here's the technology, and then even what you and I have talked about, how do you scale it? Mm-hmm. So if a city wants to start small and then get big, in 2016, where we started, we filled up, 10, now we're at 20-something garages. So how do we build that playbook and scalability where a city wants to jump in? Maybe it's a Waco. Hey, I want to start with 5 and I want to do a CarFest for a day or a day and a half or 2 days. Right. And we're going to build that playbook, and we're going to be able to franchise this thing and take it across the country.
That's amazing. Imagine how many lives you'll be able to touch through these events. Like, the impact of what you do in San Antonio. Imagine when there's a Dallas, a Houston, a New York, an LA, like all over the country, right? The thousands of people that you'll be able to have a positive impact on. That's such an amazing thing.
If I was in it, you'd see the goosebumps. If I wasn't in long sleeve, that just gave me goosebumps thinking about that.
That's amazing. That is so cool. And so people can learn more about CarFest at carfestsa.org. And you're available on socials as well?
We are available on all the socials. So find us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Celine does an incredible job on all of our digital platforms. So yeah.
And when is the event?
The event this year is April 4th through the 6th, 2025, Freeman Expo Hall.
Awesome, and it's free to the community.
Free.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Andrew. It was amazing chatting with you and learning about CarFest and all the amazing things you're doing. Thanks for everybody that tunes in. These episodes are only possible because of the change makers in the community that we talk to that really are making a positive impact. Again, this was Beyond Giving, the best nonprofit show on the Boost Network, sponsored by Nonprofits HQ and the Boost.
Thanks.